Hi there, I am Brendan Murphy, and welcome to the First of the Worst podcast.
And I am Steve Arendas.
And we've been gone for a while, and I think I flubbed our usual opening.
Yeah, it's totally cool.
I might have said this several times on the show, but I always base that off car talk.
Yeah, I think you have said that.
Like it's like, I'm Click, and I'm Clack, and we're obnoxious, and your parents are probably really psyched that this show's on.
My dad was really excited.
Oh, yeah. And my dad was too, and he doesn't even really know about cars. I mean, compared to me, he's like a mechanic.
Oh, my dad does, and yeah, he loved that show. God, it would be the worst when you put that on.
I think one of those guys died. So
Yes.
we're going to start off this show with a uplifting moment.
And we're just gonna go darker places.
Well, for
right
Steve,
now.
this is a dark place.
Yeah.
Let's just scored a run of baseball points.
Let's just get into this. So, we're gonna rank the top 10 best things about the Cubs being in the World Series.
Yeah, I mean, and for Steve, this is a really bad category.
This is like the worst thing. I mean,
for me, this is like, on the whole, probably pretty good. Like, I mean, I'm on the record as saying that I think baseball kind of sucks.
You're wearing a Cubs hat.
I'm wearing a Cubs hat, and I feel like
repulsive.
Steve probably felt like Eric felt in True Blood season 2 when he went outside with the Daywalkers.
This is you're getting deep into True Blood references lately.
I brought up another True Blood reference, and I just wanted a vampire reference, and all I have to dive into is True Blood. I don't have Twilight.
Yeah, it's probably fine.
And it is the season of Hallows.
Yeah. So
I should point out, I suggested a Halloween theme, and Steve just basically was like, absolutely not. I don't want to discuss Halloween. I can't handle this shit.
I've been in a tough.
You have young children.
This whole podcast being not on for a while is mostly on me for being busy and not knowing what the hell to do with my life. But
yeah, I mean, we all know that I'm not busy. Pretty well.
No, but now it's like double-sided or whatever. Yeah, you know what I mean.
I'm just
before I wasn't busy at all though. Really. So let's just get into it. This is gonna go to some weird places. I want to first commend myself for being a hero of sorts, which is I think I've been pretty good in not being an asshole White Sox fan during this whole Cubs thing.
Well, you don't live here, so it's really easy. Basically, you never post on social media anyway, so...
Yeah, well, I would never...
for Twitter, the occasional tweet.
I didn't post any negative stuff on Twitter. I haven't. But I wouldn't never do... I don't do that kind of stuff on Facebook anyway, so... I'll just throw a picture of my kids up once in a while.
Watching my mom just misappropriate Facebook is hilarious. Last night she responded to the Taco Bell. Everyone wanted a free taco.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Can't wait to get my free taco." And I was like, "That's a tweet, Mom. It's not a Facebook post."
So many people.
I saw it 22 hours later.
Dude, that's what big sporting events in towns is when like people should be on Twitter and they go to and
but
don't have Twitter.
Old people don't know about Twitter.
Yeah, and they just like, oh, let's just post this weird.
Although my mom does know about podcasts, so she might be listening to this, and I should tell her I love her. You know how she listens to our podcast? She streams it off the Facebook link.
That's awesome. Love it.
And if you're wondering how you can best listen to our podcast, that's not the best way.
It's one of the ways, but it's not the best. Can you listen to it on your phone through the Facebook link? Probably, right?
I think she does it on her iPad.
Okay. Yeah, then you can do it on a phone then.
All right. So without further ado, the World Series in which the Cubs of Chicago. I should say the World Series of baseball. I don't want people getting confused with other World Series.
This isn't.
So the Chicago Cubs are playing the World Series of baseball.
Yeah, and it sucks that it's happening.
And Steve's very sad, and I'm mostly happy. So our 10 reasons. I think my number 10. I usually start off, if I recall. I know we haven't. We haven't taken a lap around this track in a few weeks, but my number 10, my guess is this will be the one you're going to hate the most of my 10.
Fuck you.
And mine is David Ross.
Oh!
He goes to the same yoga studio as my lady friend. He's kind of looks like you.
Yeah, he's one of the least offensive Cubs to me.
He's also been shockingly pretty good for a guy who's pretty terrible.
I wanted him to be the White Sox manager.
Oh, he's definitely going to be a bench coach or a position coach. Some position coach. I see that's usually what I know of baseball. Perhaps a first or third base coach.
Yeah, he'll be like the wide receivers coach for like the St. Louis Cardinals. Yep, that was position coach. Yeah, that's what he'll do. But no, okay, sure, David Ross.
There was a story that after
I think our lists are going to be very different. By the way, this might be the most different list we've ever made.
Many of mine are very much personally tied to me.
All mine are almost.
By the way, Cubs take a 4-0 lead.
Brendan's watching the game, which
in this playoffs, Kyle Schwarber single. That's his second RBI of the game.
Don't say too much. We don't have express written consent from MLB to broadcast this game.
Well, I'm not saying what the game is. It is the cricket test match.
We don't have express written consent to broadcast this game days later by just saying the score. Yeah. I've only watched one. There's only been one game I've even seen one at bat of, and I watched that whole game when I came down to Chicago at a bar with people, and I haven't even seen an at bat from any of the other playoff games.
I mean, you follow, Schwarber's back, right? We've actually
I know, man. People are everywhere, man. I can't avoid them.
People are everywhere,
man. I'm at the office, and there's fucking assholes wearing Green Bay Packers jerseys with unbuttoned Cubs jerseys over the top of them.
Those are, I mean, Steve is
I almost quit.
Like, you're not a meatball, but these are like the two things that I think you align with non-meatballs. And it's really just these two teams.
Yeah, it really is. All right, what's my number 10? Oh, my number 10. The American League won the All-Star game, so only 3 of the games at most can be played in Chicago at that shithole that is Wrigley Field. So that's the one positive.
Well, and if the score in the cricket match holds up, those 3 games all will be played.
Well, either way, right?
No, Cleveland could sweep right now. I mean,
oh yeah, you're right. My bad. Yeah. Oh, okay. So then my number 9. This is a huge one, actually. Maybe it should have been higher. I'm not living there during it. It's been the first time I've been really excited to not live in Chicago.
I don't know, man. I mean, there's another reason. I'll get to another reason pretty late in this list, but there are other reasons to be excited not to be living in Chicago.
Besides, like, murder and the Cubs? But those probably go hand in hand soon.
Yeah.
That was funny. All right, what's your number 9?
My number 9 is the unintentionally hilarious idiots who do stupid shit when they win and when they lose. I have a example.
Okay. I
wouldn't be good at listing if I didn't. And that example is on Saturday night, as many of you may be aware. The Cubs clinched the National League for the first time,
and they won the World. It looked like they won the World Series.
It looked like they won the World Series, and a man climbed the traffic light at the intersection of Clark and Addison.
Expected.
And that man was my girlfriend's roommate's brother, and he got arrested.
Well, there it is. I heard there wasn't that many
arrests. About it on Facebook. The next morning, it was, according to what I heard on the radio, the only one. I then Googled it, and apparently there were a few. But for a fleeting moment, I knew the only person arrested in the quasi-riots of Celebration.
What do you think? Worse riot, or if they win or lose?
Win. I don't think there actually will be a riot if they lose.
We'll see. I guess it depends how it goes down. It would have to go down.
In Chicago is the worst case scenario for.
What about lose in Chicago on a questionable call?
Well, that would actually be a riot. Because what Saturday night was just a bunch of assholes in the street.
Yeah, but like a questionable call.
You know what people wonder? What do you do when you get to the destination to which you are going to celebrate? Nothing. You don't have anything to drink. You just wait for people to do stupid shit like climb up traffic lights.
Yeah,
it's quite foolhardy.
You just jump around and hug people, right?
Who you don't know. I'd rather just hug the people I know.
Yeah, no, I mean, I kind of agree with you.
We got there and we were like, this is stupid. And then we just went back to Ashley's porch, which is 2 blocks from the stadium, and drank there and felt kind of like we were in it, but much more comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like the idea of feeling like I'm in it, that celebration particularly, but I'd much rather be on somebody's porch than mobbed by the worst people in the world.
So what do you think you would be doing if you lived here and they won the World Series? I should ask you that. Like, what would you do?
First off, they haven't won the World Series.
No, this is a hypothetical, which is obviously never going to happen.
Probably while some people are listening to this 100 years from now, maybe they've won by then. I think, what would I be doing?
What if it's the opposite and they've won like 11 times in 100 years from now?
Yeah, I mean, if they win one, it's over. They're just never going to stop winning.
What happened in Boston?
Yeah. So what would I be doing? I'd just be like in my house. I wouldn't be going out.
So, do you think Jess would be out?
No, she's not a Cubs fan.
But she's a Chicago person. I don't know. I mean, she wasn't out for the White Sox, I guess, or the Blackhawks rather.
She went out for one Blackhawks one.
Okay, so you couldn't see her out with like some of your friends, your mutual friends.
A bunch of our friends went to the Pony, and we lived like not far from it. So she just
that is true. You did live very close. That's actually where I watched the Cubs clinch the NL.
And I refused to go. I
stand in solidarity with you there.
This is like a million times worse than that. I actually don't have any disdain for the Blackhawks. They're
just obnoxious and inconvenient. I think.
That's how I view them.
I do have a disdain for them because they're fans, which I'm not going to lie, are all the same assholes that are the Cubs. I just think I needed something to be happy about in the world. There's just, Bernie didn't win. Just like give me something to smile about. Jesus.
Oh man. That's desperate, man. So are you on your number 8 now?
Yeah, my number 8, to me, many girls look cute in hats. Girls look cute in hats. That's my number 8.
Yeah, sure.
I actually wear the kind of hats that most girls wear because I think I look better in them as well. But I like the adjustable band in the back.
The dad hats. You wear dad hats.
I wear dad hats, yes. I did get a snapback, but it's a snapback with a bent brim. It's a very kind of mixed message.
I only do fitted.
Yeah, these are dad hats, yeah. Dad hats or mom hats.
So here's the thing. I have a huge head. You can't really tell, but it's big. So when I wear an adjustable back hat, like the gap thing is huge.
Okay, so that looks wrong.
Yeah, so I have to get fitted hats.
But it looks less wrong with a dad hat than it does with a snapback. With a snapback, it just
I would agree.
ridiculous.
I would agree. If I had to go one way, I would go dad hat if I had to have an adjustable back hat. All right, my number 8 is, now this would be higher, except there's a lot of caveats. Like, what if Wrigley burned down during a celebration? That would be cool, as long as nobody that wasn't a Cubs fan got hurt.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I kind of understand. I don't necessarily agree, but I do understand that.
I mean, no, but it would be. Let's say nobody got hurt. Yeah, I'm in.
Okay, so this is your things that are cool is the hypothetical scenario that Wrigley could burn down in celebration. That is, just to clarify. Okay, I didn't know that was actually your item.
That was my number 8. My number 7. Oh, okay. Here's my number 7. Now, you might not get this one at first, but remember the old phrase, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. The rooftop owners are going to make a lot of money.
Yeah, that like half of them have sold the Cubs in the past year.
I know, but the ones that are still there,
the holdouts,
are banked up. They're going to be able to hold out even longer.
You know who the biggest holdout is Murphy's. The people who own Murphy's.
Yeah,
they're such dick bags.
Do they have a rooftop?
They do. I think they own the building next door.
Okay.
And then
why would they ever sell though?
Like when their lease expires, their current contract expires, the Cubs might just fuck them.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna fuck them.
Because once it becomes a thing where the Cubs own 90% of them, the 3 people that get screwed do not have as loud a voice as opposed to like the 200.
Well, are they trying to take over the bar Murphy's bleachers or just the rooftops?
They're just buying all the rooftop buildings. I mean, I don't see Murphy's bleachers ever getting sold to the team.
I assume they're just going to buy that whole street up and then take over that whole street and shut that street down.
Did you read today that there is massive covers to get into bars? Like $200 to get in a Cubby Bear? That's the cover.
That's amazing. That's so terrible.
Dude, you couldn't pay me $200 to go there. I mean, I think you could. But like that's where I'd be at with it. I'd be offended. I'd be like, no. You give me the money. Or pay me in drinks. Pay me in product.
$200? It's not like a $200 like limit.
Okay, so what it sounds to be is $200 and you get a wristband.
And it's like all you can drink?
It's all you can drink of.
And eat?
See, that was unclear. There's a bunch of bars that are doing it. Deuces is doing it.
That's not that terrible if it's all you could drink and eat.
Okay,
I mean,
so
it sucks.
I think
but like it sucks, but it's also not a great place to watch a baseball game.
No, Murphy's like came out today and was like, we're never going to do that. Which, to me, of the Wrigley bars, Murphy's is one of the more tolerable ones. Anyway,
like the Cubby Bear, like
is a shithole. The Cubby Bear is a shithole. Deuces is a shithole. All the bars that are doing it are the worst ones.
I've actually never been in Cubby Bear where there wasn't like a concert going on, so I don't even know how it's set up normally.
I mean, it's the same setup, just there's not a band. There's still drunk assholes and singing pretty shitty music.
Okay. But yeah, that's not good. Oh man. Murphy's though probably cleaning up though.
They all are. You know, I mean, some of these bars, I think, were it not for the last couple of years of the Cubs, probably wouldn't exist. And I think number one on that list would be that Deuces place. Because that place cost $1 million to put together at least.
Yeah, it's hideous too.
And no one was going there.
Yeah, now they just got the Cubs stuff pumping them through.
Yeah, I mean, you haven't seen the park lately, but across the street from the main Wrigley Field sign, not kitty corner, like the Cubby Bears, but across the street the other way is just a big hole in the ground.
Like where McDonald's used to be?
No, where IO and there still is a souvenir shop there.
Oh, we're like Salt and Pepper Diner.
Salt and Pepper Diner. That's all gone.
R.I.P. Salt and Pepper Diner. I love Salt and Pepper Diner.
So the closest
Salt and Pepper Diner was the best part of Wrigleyville, including everything.
They both closed, actually.
I know.
The closest part of the stadium is now, I believe, Red Ivy or Irish Oak.
Ugh.
On that side of Clark.
Well, Red Ivy, Irish Oak is probably one of the more...
Irish Oak is tolerable. Bars. They've actually redone it. It's not that bad. Anyway, that's your Wrigleyville bar update.
So we're on your number 7, I think?
We are. And this is a political issue, but I think it really does matter, especially as our generation may really be forced to face this crisis. Relief in our Social Security crisis by all the people that will die of happiness. There are a lot of old people holding on. And we are just paying
if they win.
Okay, yeah. So potential for relief in our national Social Security crisis. That is pretty big benefit.
I didn't think of that. That should have made my list.
Okay, thank you. I'm forward thinking.
That should have made my list. What's your number 6? I like that one.
Ashley's parking space. Which
for you. That's a great one.
You know what? Honestly, that should be number 1.
That should be your number 1. I don't know why it's not.
It sold for $120 on Friday.
So here's my question. And I've never totally understood this about like parking at sporting events. Why can you charge more for a World Series parking spot than you can charge for any other sold out game? By the way, we had a viewer watching this for like a minute.
That's kind of weird.
I don't even know how they found it.
I thought this was on private. Hello, friend.
He's gone. He or she is gone. Continue.
That's very strange.
But like, why is it like? Why can she make more money now?
Here's what I think, and this is not economic theory, but the reality is that people are paying $5,000 for a ticket. So to them,
is it just price fixing among the other people selling seats?
Okay, well, we are undercutting everyone presently.
Okay.
So I don't know. I guess my point was that if you're going to pay $5,000
are a lot of people just driving into Wrigleyville to like be a part of like the atmosphere?
So I think the person that we're selling our spot to on Saturday is just going to Wrigleyville, not the game.
Okay, so that makes sense. If there's a bunch of people doing that as well on top of going to the game, I guess there's gonna, you know what I mean?
You're right. I don't know. I don't have a great answer. I think it's a little bit of like just a higher brow clientele, and there is a little bit more demand, but I don't think the demand is crazy.
Like I saw something like in Cleveland, it was like $100 at this parking lot to park for the game, and I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
And that's Cleveland.
Yeah,
and also their stadium's downtown.
When I went to the World Series, I parked on the street. I got street parking. We got lost. We went around all the way around the stadium twice. The people paying for trying to send you to the parking lot, shuffled us around, and we were like, we're going to miss a game. We're just going to find a spot and park illegally and pay the ticket. And we found a spot.
That actually is what people should do in Wrigley.
Yeah. We found
a $75 or $100 ticket.
We just agreed to split the cost of the ticket, and we found a spot at Halstead. But and then
pay the ticket?
No, we got a spot.
Oh,
we found a spot at Halstead. It's like somebody was pulling out. Like as we were like driving up, so we didn't pay for parking. So I have no clue how much parking was for the White Sox World Series. So are we on your number 6 or my number 6 now?
My number 6 was the parking space.
Okay. My number 6 are phony White Sox fans are being exposed. So I can make a mental Rolodex of who they all are.
Baseball McCarthyism.
Brendan just took off his Cubs hat after I said that.
I actually did. Maybe that was subconsciously. I also have a wardrobe change mid-show, so.
Well, we're getting close. That was number 6. My number 5. This is a good one, I think. Has been old white celebrities from Chicago have a place to be seen on TV.
Okay.
Jim Belushi.
Okay.
John Cusack.
Well, I'll talk about him a little later.
Eddie Vedder.
Fuck you. He's not a has-been. He's still kind of in his prime.
I didn't put Bill Murray on because as much as you know he annoys me, I can't put him in the has-been category. But yeah, those guys. Like what the fuck is John Cusack doing? You didn't even do Hot Time Machine 2.
Yeah, why not? That was a huge gaffe.
He could have made some money at least. I mean, he's not as bad as according to Jim, but like.
Okay, so my number 2 is Eddie Vedder and Bill Murray overshadowing bogus John Cusack, which is pretty much the same as you just said, except you included Vedder in there. And the thing about John Cusack is he's never used his fame to like make things that are good. Like he's never produced a great indie movie. He's just a paycheck player to me.
But he didn't take his paycheck time stopped at Hot Tub Time Machine 2, apparently.
So I don't know what that was about. I would not be shocked if it was a contract dispute.
Also, don't forget when he showed up to the White Sox World Series in a White Sox hat.
I thought the Cubs never forgave him for it. When I worked there,
I wouldn't try to get into his reverse.
He tried to go up and get into his suite, and they're like, okay, that's $600. And he's like, I'm not paying for it. And they're like, okay, well, then you should go sit in your seat that you paid for.
Like what I'm saying.
So yeah. that was the old regime of ownership. Apparently,
yeah, the Cubs
Tribune era has made it okay with John Cusack.
They lost their mental Rolodex.
They did. They're just trying to be everyone's fucking friend except the rooftop owners.
They lost their mental Rolodex.
You know what? And I'm surprised Craig Kenny didn't remind them. By all accounts, he's a pretty good fella. Yeah, he's still like the Grim Reaper.
So when I was talking about all these old white guys to somebody, and they were just like around, like, well, because you're just mad because the Cubs have better famous fans than the White Sox. I'm like, that couldn't be more wrong.
Bernie Mac is gone. Who are we looking at here?
Well, first off, you have the President of the United States of America.
That's a pretty good start. I'll give you that.
Second off, you have Michael Jordan. Third off, you have maybe the most famous musician alive, Kanye West. Fourth off, you have and then Chance, and then you have the most famous Reverend Jesse Jackson.
That is a pretty impressive Rolodex.
It's a pretty impressive lineup.
Also, though, you know what's funny?
What?
It's kind of all brothers.
Yeah, and all the Cubs guys are old white men.
And all the Cubs guys are old white men. When I think the Cubs fans would consider themselves a more progressive audience, just because they have money.
Money doesn't mean progressive. It usually means the opposite.
Yeah, but Northside money's, I think, a little progressive. I don't know. The Ricketts gave $100 million to Trump, so maybe this is not my greatest talking point.
Yeah, they're with the Koch boys.
Yeah, normally they're the reason we're seeing all these Trump ads during the World Series. After they gave $500 million to,
it's a trick because he looks just like Ted Cruz, but
Scott Walker's their guy.
Yeah, normally a Walker guy, but Ricketts looks just like Ted Cruz.
He does look like Ted Cruz.
But I mean, hey, you got to be a smart guy like Ricketts to support a guy like Scott Walker who hasn't even graduated from college to be president. Like that's a pretty impressive thing. He's my governor.
Kanye West is running next time too. So
yeah, I mean, you're right. So the president has been said that you can be a college dropout and run for president. So there's that.
And finish in 15th place in your own party.
Yeah, Kanye might be able to go above 15th if he goes Democrat. Usually they don't have that many running. So then you're on your number 5.
Jake Arrieta really is on borrowed time tonight, but I think he has a no-hitter through 5 innings.
Hasn't he thrown like 1 million pitches?
He's a no-hitter with 3 or 4 walks.
Is kidding me? Is it 5-0?
Yeah.
What the hell?
My number 5 is
79 pitches. He could go for a while still.
Also, like, what are they saving him up for? He's only got under contract for 1 more year.
Yeah, and he quit his steroids, so maybe he cycled on quick for this.
Well, maybe he did some doping. My number 5 is it's an acceptable excuse to just generally approach the office more casually. You don't have to dress as formal. You can leave like today. It was entirely acceptable to leave work at 4:30 today.
Oh, the 6 o'clock time must have been huge for that.
Like people at just like 3:45, you could see people kind of like sneaking out, and then as like it got closer to 4:30, people were just emboldened.
No, I'll give it to you. That's a positive. It's a positive. I would have even like tried to dip in on.
Yeah.
No, I would have just. I'm a White Sox fan, too blue collar. I would have just stayed in and put in maybe some extra hours.
I share an office with the Sox fan. He is the most miserable person in Chicago. The day after they lost, like when they lose, and for some reason they've been winning all the weekend games and losing a lot of weeknight games. He comes in and he watches the videos of the press conferences of the Cubs players after the losses to hear them talk.
This guy sounds great.
Yeah, you'd love him.
What's your number 4?
My number 4 is the possibility that lots of people are going to have sex they didn't necessarily earn, or in a potential World Series baby boom, because everyone just wants to fuck.
Yeah, but there's gonna be so many fucking kids named Addison and Clark.
There already are, man.
I know, but there's gonna.
You're looking at a wave of like
so many.
What are the other names? Okay, kids with the first name Baez. I could totally see that. Baez.
Oh, white kids named Baez.
White kids named Baez. Oh man.
Like kids with the middle name.
My son Baez.
Kids with the middle name Rizzo.
First name.
Yeah, isn't that a character like Grease or something?
Also, how isn't Anthony Rizzo's nickname the Rat?
Why is he a rat? I don't get it.
The Muppet Rizzo?
Oh man, I'm not deep into Muppets. If you weren't a Muppet baby, I don't know.
I don't think Rizzo was.
Yeah, see, that's why I don't know. I don't know their names if they weren't Muppet babies.
Rizzo's a famous rat.
He was one of the little rat ones.
He's like the main rat.
Okay. I know who it is then. I just didn't know the name. So wait, was that your number 5?
My number 5 was yes, work easier. Oh, my number 4 was everyone's getting laid.
Oh, everyone's getting laid. Yeah, I guess it's a positive. But they're Cubs fans getting laid. They're just gonna breed more. That's a negative actually. My number 4.
Everyone's in a better mood when they're getting laid too.
My number 4 is. All right, you gotta hear me out on this one.
Okay.
Maybe I think you're too deep in the woods to see the trees on this one.
Okay.
People are starting to turn on the Cubs and their fans. And if they win the World Series, they will fully turn.
You think they're going to go full Red Sox?
Well, they already have. They just haven't won yet.
Yeah, it takes the win to get any sort of like the sentiment out of it for a national audience.
Yeah, the media won't because, I mean, I don't know how the Cubs have fucking jerked off every media member in the world, but they have. And I don't – but
that's Joe Buck, Cub hater.
That's my favorite Facebook post I've seen. Is every Cubs fan thinking Joe Buck hates them, and basically Joe Buck's, I think, the best baseball announcer because every team thinks he hates them.
I read an interview with him today where he basically said, like, I have not yet encountered a fan base that didn't think I was rooting for them, including St. Louis. Rooting against them.
Yeah, that sounds right. Like Cubs were getting mad. Cubs were getting mad because he like was talking like Clayton Kershaw was like the best pitcher in baseball because he is.
Well, not against these Cubs.
Well, he never is in the playoffs, really, in the end. But
so I think he's got like a Peyton Manning progression going.
He kind of does.
He's like getting a little better at the early rounds, and maybe one time he'll like break through, but the Dodgers will score like 16 runs and they'll win 16-9.
Yeah, I don't really like Clayton Kershaw either. So I mean. It makes sense. But yeah, no, I think if they win, the people will turn hard on the Cubs. Even some like old school Cubs fans will turn on like the new Cubs fans. It'll be nice to see. My number 3, this is just, I'm reading this right now and I feel like an idiot for even writing it. It's so far-fetched. I said, maybe it will force the White Sox to stop sucking to keep them from becoming even more irrelevant.
I mean, it seems about as plausible as the Wrigley fire. So,
I think more collateral damage would have to happen for this to come through.
What you really need is a fire in the Reinsdorf estate in Deerfield. That's what you really need.
I don't want to say that on a recording in case I get mad one night.
Yeah.
It could help 2 of my teams.
I mean, after Dwayne Wade's first 2 of 21.
Michael Carter Williams, you got to back him up, so we're good.
Okay, see, I don't hate that move like you do. I think it makes no sense because
I think you haven't watched Michael Carter Williams play basketball since he was at Syracuse.
I mean, that's entirely likely, but he's still so young.
Is he? Youngish.
I mean, hey, there's a old Major League 2. He said, I thought they were talking about how they needed to get more high priced talent.
Yeah.
And he asked about Doran. He goes, he's just high priced. I feel like the Bulls need to get more young talent.
I heard they're looking into that kid from
Carter Williams is just young.
Remember that kid from the NCAA tournament a couple years ago whose dad like was his coach and he like injured himself celebrating?
They're looking at RJ Hunter?
Yeah, he just got cut by the Celtics. And supposedly he could shoot. And they were like,
they desperately need that shit.
So hopefully maybe.
I mean, not playing Nico in the starting lineup is just absurd.
Oh, this is so much more fun than talking about the Cubs. What's your number 3?
My number 3, it probably should be my number 1. My buddy Fletch, he's a humongous Cubs fan. Okay, I'll tell you a little about Fletch.
Okay.
He was my camp counselor when I was a kid. So he's now almost 50.
Okay.
Is
this the guy you go to the Cubs convention with every year?
He's the guy I go to the Cubs convention with.
Oh my God. The Cubs convention.
Gone to the Cubs convention with me several times, and it's probably been about half the years in the last 20 years.
Okay.
He has made the same hotel reservations for the last week of October at the Days Inn on Diversey in case the Cubs are in the World Series for 15 years.
Jesus.
You hate this so much. And this year, he gets to come to Chicago and stay there because the Cubs are in the World Series.
Does he have tickets or just going to go out?
He's going to scalp them. And I think that's pretty fucking cool. I know that this is just like requiring too much sentiment and too much like just general
Cubbydom
heart warmth for you to really get behind it, but I think it's cool.
Was that your number 3?
My number 3.
Oh man. All right. What's your number 2? That was the most depressing part of this whole list.
Eddie Vedder and Bill Murray. Overshadowing.
Oh yeah. To be fair, they are.
They did show Cusack and Eddie Vedder sitting together, and it was clearly the most in the can thing they ever did. Then later in the game, Cusack was sitting down there with someone else, and Vedder was up in the suite with Theo.
Well, yeah, because Theo is jams with Eddie.
They go on family vacations together.
Oh, fucking A, dude. All right, my number 2.
It just makes me laugh that Eddie Vedder goes on family vacation. Isn't that kind of funny to you?
No, he's like a dad rocker.
He's like 53, so I don't know why it's that crazy.
My number 2 is okay. This applies to very, very few people. Like most likely, if you're listening to this and you think it applies to you, it doesn't. There's very few Cubs fans I know, and that I would be kind of happy that they got to experience winning a World Series. That's it. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Is that your least favorite part of the whole podcast?
Yeah. There's very few. Most of you I hate.
I think you should list them and then say a nice thing about him.
I don't want to. I want some people to think that they are part of that list and actually aren't. My number 1 is, what's the score of this game right now?
5-0.
Okay, so things are people pretty happy over in Wrigleyville right now, right?
I'm not in really in the West Loop tonight, but
people pretty excited though. Looks like it probably.
Yeah.
People feeling good about themselves. Feeling like they're going to win the World Series. Number 1, they have to be built up before they can be totally torn down. The higher they're built up, the farther they'll fall.
Man, you got some Richard Williams, Joe Jackson parenting in you. I'm very excited for your children's made-for-TV movie.
Oh no. Yeah, it's could you imagine, so my dream's already over, which was Cubs go up 3-0 and then lose the World Series. But I don't know, it could still end in an interesting fashion. I was trying to think of the most possible dramatic way. It's tough because like the idea of them losing in Chicago is nice, but then that would only be a 5-game series at the most. You know.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm not in the the camp that I'm rooting for just widespread despair. But I mean, I just see. Here's what I can say.
Every 15 years or so, Cubs fans need to be put back in their place.
I can relate to this because I hate one team the way you hate the Cubs. It's Kansas Jayhawks. Except they're the fucking opposite of the Cubs. They win all the goddamn motherfucking time.
Well, yeah, I have both. I hate the Packers too.
You do hate the Packers. I don't hate the Packers like you do. I don't think either.
Yeah, you didn't grow up close to Wisconsin like me.
You're right. And I kind of always liked Favre because I'm not as hardened in hate as you are, I think, just in general.
Let's just say one thing. I hate Aaron Rodgers way more than I ever hated Brett Favre.
Oh, because he gets a free pass for all his bullshit.
Yeah.
Like hating cancer and
his family. He hates his family.
He hates his family?
Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah.
It's like he's like, yeah, he doesn't talk to his family anymore. It came out on The Bachelor this season. The Bachelorette.
Really?
Yeah. Not only The Bachelorette, not only did Jordan say that, but so did his other brother said it. Yeah, he's a bad, that's why I tell my kids when they watch Packer games that man hates his family and doesn't love his family anymore.
I gotta say that's more good parenting on your part. What was the other thing I was gonna say?
We have a viewer. We have a viewer right now. Hello, viewer.
Welcome.
This is great.
What if it's like, that might be WikiLeaks related?
Yeah, I think it's.
I think our viewer is probably Julian Assange. We might guess.
Hello. That checks out.
Please, send me the leaks. I could really use some exposure. First or the worst, just the WikiLeaks.
Yeah, we're blowing up right now, so this is a huge live video that I didn't even know was available for people to watch. All right, okay, so what's your number 1?
My number 1 is Distraction from the Bears.
Distraction from the Bears?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that's pretty good. The Bears are Hot garbage. The best of these people are turning in to watch Cubs World Series. Like about two guys being excited about the Cubs World Series. They're like, you think people think we're streaming the Cubs World Series right now? That's a whole.
What did you? Okay,
it's just called Cubs World Series. People totally think it's the Cubs World Series.
Oh, dude, we should just name our stuff cool shit all the time, and we'll get lots of viewers. We should just be whatever the hottest celebrity sex tape is. Should be the name of our show.
Yeah, this is great. Yeah. So wait, I'm sorry.
I think we should just start calling us Kardashians.
Yeah, probably. That sounds not bad. We could spell it slightly wrong. Nobody would know.
Like maybe end it with a Z. Kardashians.
Yeah, that works perfectly. But yeah, distraction from the Bears. I can't believe I didn't even think of that.
And it really did come to.
It's even distracting me from the Bears.
It really did come to light the other night because the Bears were playing the Packers in a fairly typical Bears-Packers nationally just a debauched piece of shit effort from the Bears.
Hey, let's not forget last year when the Bears saved Thanksgiving
by beating
the Packers on Thanksgiving.
They won against the Packers. It was only last year.
Thanksgiving, yeah, it was amazing. It was a Thanksgiving miracle.
I guess we have forgotten it, or at least one of us has. Like any given day, if you're like, name the last time the Bears beat the Packers, I'd be like 1999. Next question. Even though it's happened like 7 times since then. It just feels like it's been that long at all times.
They won like 2 of their last 3 in Green Bay.
I do remember
now 2 of their last 4.
I do kind of remember them beating the shit out of them on the opening day of 2006. They beat the Packers like 30-0.
Yeah. The Bears season is horrible. And now it's Cutler time again?
Yeah, I know. You know, I was ready if be one guy named Cuddy has to kill himself, I'd much rather it was our quarterback than the rapper.
Is Kid Cudi going to kill himself?
Oh, you didn't read about his deep depression?
I knew he was depressed. I don't think he's going to kill himself.
Okay, well, he seems more likely than Jay Cutler to do so.
I don't know. Jay doesn't seem like the happiest guy.
Jay would like kill himself accidentally in like an autoerotic asphyxiation accident. Honestly, if I was to pick one athlete who could have an autoerotic asphyxiation accident, he'd be toward the top of the list in terms of like likelihood that he'd be into it.
Well, he's retired now, but I would have Jared Allen. I think he's just into like hog roping and tying and stuff, calf roping.
Yeah, but I think like he can't really walk and chew gum at the same time for the whole like.
Yeah, there's some coordination, I would imagine.
And he lost all his. He just got beaten out of his brain.
Man, now I really want to make a list of top 10 athletes most likely to die in autoerotic asphyxiation accidents.
It's a good list.
You think Cutler's number 1?
Cutler's on the list. Rodgers is on the list too.
Yeah, he definitely is. It's probably just quarterbacks.
Honestly, Brady.
Oh,
you can't. Yeah. I can't do Tom Terrific with you.
I love Tom. I think it's plausible.
Exactly. That's why I think you'd be like, no.
But I think it's plausible.
He'd be into it, but he just never have an accident.
Yeah, that's a valid point. I don't see how he would mess it up.
Yeah, I mean, Peyton Manning would probably fuck it up in like January.
Well, I mean, right before the big win, he would. Right before the conclusion, he would screw it up. But yeah, that's what.
I mean, I think there's like some underrated NBA players. Like, I think Joakim could be into it.
Yeah, maybe. Have the Cubs given up any runs yet?
No, Jake Arrieta still hasn't given up a hit.
What the hell? Can we cancel the post-game show already?
I mean, he's not pitching past like 110 pitches.
Yeah, but then they're gonna get like a fucking team no-hitter or some bullshit. God damn it. Get your head out of your oh man. That so like I said, I haven't been watching these, but if you don't think I've been following them on my phone, you're wrong.
That's how my Sox fan friend at work is.
You won't watch them.
So here's your scenario now, dude. And I didn't look this up, and I'm sure I very easily could have. You just want there to be like a 9-hour monsoon on Cleveland. Because could they actually call a World Series game short?
Oh, you mean like right now?
Yeah, like right now. It is 8:49 Central Standard Time.
I don't know. I'm always like really bad at like the rules of like what can constitute a full completed.
Oh, game. We're in full game mode now.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know that those rules apply to postseason games.
Or if like they would just like play the next 3 innings tomorrow.
Yeah, or something. I don't know like how they. Or this is what I was thinking. It would just be a called game. Probably a long shot that's true.
I doubt it. Yeah. Oh, well, somebody's on base, according to my phone.
Oh, well, you might be ahead of me.
How is my phone ahead of your TV?
Well, I'm watching a Roku stream.
Oh, somebody's on second. I think Jason Kipnis is on second.
Okay, so I think he probably hit a double, so the post-game show has been canceled.
Oh, God. At least I got that going for me, which is
the nice. Roku stream is brutal.
Yeah, no, I forgot you have Roku. I do the same thing, and like it's great for watching, but if you're like watching something where you know people are going to be texting you, it
sucks because you can't really follow it on Twitter.
I don't find that to be quite as bad.
Well, first of all, a good Twitter follow is not just telling you everything that happens.
That's why I don't really follow people who are just like, base it.
Yeah, Norm Macdonald sometimes does that with golf tournaments. That
I've heard that,
and it's actually quite funny.
I've heard that he does that.
He'll do it with like he'll be like, Oracle Open.
Is it like a joke or is he just like serious?
I think so I think he loves golf and likes to watch it. And I think it drives people fucking nuts. So he does it.
Oh man. All right. That was quite the.
How do you feel right now?
About what, the Cubs? I feel a lot better if they weren't winning 5-0.
I mean, just right like now. In general, actually like saying some kind of nice things about like your friends and listening to me say nice things about the Cubs and my friends. It's just like pretty icky for you.
It's not great. We got a full count going on here. Francisco Lindor.
All right. Well, I'm going to unfollow you if you keep spoiling the game for me here.
I'm going to keep spoiling it for you. This whole season's spoiled by the Cubs for me. Mm-hmm. Is Kyle Schwarber good?
Yeah, he's awesome.
Is he going to be on the Cubs next year? Because he can't play defense, right?
It would be a very Cubsy move to build him up, have him have this huge series. Okay, so listen, I'm wrong. This isn't Cubsy. This is like Patriotsy. To build a guy up, get him at the apex of his value, and then trade him when you really don't think he's actually as good as
he's. To be fair, I don't think it's the apex of his value if he only plays in the World Series for the whole.
What if he hits like 5 home runs? Right now, he's like
World Series. Gonna play. He's not. If theoretically, he's not gonna play in Cleveland. He can't play defense right now. I mean, he's not gonna play in Chicago.
So he's getting 2 at bats in Chicago.
Yeah, he'll pinch hit. Yeah. I mean, yeah, he'll pitch it any game when there's a right. Is he left-handed, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Anytime a righty and they need a left-handed pitch hitter, he'll
it is pretty incredible, and I do think it speaks to his ability that he didn't see live pitching save for a couple simulated games and whatever he did in the AFL in a couple days.
Oh.
And then has come back and is now like 3 of 6 in 2 games in the World Series.
I'd be pretty excited about him on the White Sox.
Well, I still think that there is. I mean, so his value is actually pretty high, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, he's still like, if you put him on prospect level, he's still like a very highly touted prospect.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, you could trade him. They could trade him. They probably actually should trade him. Just because it just seems like you got to get the value for him.
I mean, I think the Cubs still need I think their dream is to get a younger starting pitcher they have under control. And I think the guy that they really would have gone after, this is not trying to be a dick or anything, was Jose Fernandez. I think they were into him.
Yeah.
But they were looking for a guy like that. But you've so much to get them.
And I don't think the White Sox would trade either of their guys to the Cubs.
You don't think they trade Quintana for Schwarber?
No, I wouldn't trade Quintana for Schwarber straight up.
I mean, like in a package centered around Schwarber. And the Cubs, they probably just give you a bunch of younger prospects, but they're still probably good prospects.
As a White Sox fan at this point, I'd rather just trade Sale and get tons and keep.
Well, he's a fucking psycho.
And keep Quintana then as like the ace of the staff.
Sale has like Kurt Schilling written all over him.
There's some crazy stat where like Quintana is basically like the 5th best pitcher in baseball over the last 3 years. And then he's been better than Sale, basically. He just doesn't strike out 1,000
Sale's sexier.
Yeah.
And also Quintana, way less likely to get hurt.
Because he doesn't throw like a lunatic.
Yes.
And he doesn't play with scissors in the locker room. Like, these are things.
Sale's just a fucking inbred idiot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know a few people who kind of knew him in college. And, yep, that story pretty much checks out.
He called Drake LaRoche one of the great leaders in our clubhouse.
Yeah, I mean, he was a 13-year-old kid. Is Drake 13? Is he that old?
Also, speaking of people who are going to be inbred idiots. Take your kid to work day is not for 6 months. I think the Indians did just score.
Did they?
You probably saw that ahead of me.
I didn't. I don't have my phone pulled up, but you're right. They did.
It was either a wild pitch or a pass ball. Wild pitch is what they're scoring it as. This is Arrieta's last batter.
Yeah, you got to get him out of there. Oh, yep. Some guy named M. Montgomery is coming in.
All right.
I don't know who that is. Mike. All right.
Mike Montgomery.
All right, guys.
All right, well, with that, sorry to leave it on. We always like to leave you on a chuckle, but we are watching a game in real time, which we thought would have some comic value, but really just kind of derailed this show continually. And now we're just talking our live tweets at each other.
All right, everybody. Thanks again for listening. I don't know what
we're going to try and be semi-regular.
We'll try to be semi-regular. I don't know.
Digestive tract.
I get things under control here and figure out when we can get things done. But
I think if we could do 3 podcasts a month, we were doing 4 last year.
Yeah, it's like Saturday Night Live.
3 a month's pretty good. So I think we're going to try for that. I still have to move one more time in my life. So that might be a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
Also, if this gets on the air before tomorrow at 8 o'clock, tomorrow being Thursday, October 27th, please do come to the BLT Comedy Show.
Yeah, it will be. I'll have it up. Hopefully.
In the AM.
We'll see. Well, I'll try. All right.
All right,
later, everybody. Bye.